Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the Twin Astrology forecast for the week ahead for the Twin Flame Collective. We have a very intense week of energies. We have a transit pretty much every single day this week. Today we have the Sun trine Neptune and Mercury sextile Pluto. On Tuesday, Venus trine Jupiter. Wednesday, we have a few things going on. We have the Sun trine Lilith, Mercury trine Jupiter, and then we have Venus entering into Sagittarius. And so we've been in this underworld energy while Venus has been transiting through Scorpio, along with Mercury transiting through Scorpio. So the day after Venus enters into Sag, Mercury enters into Sag as well. And so we need to remember when we get to that 29-degree mark of any sign, right before it shifts into a new energy, things get very, very difficult. And so I don't think we're out of the woods yet, but once we get into that Sagittarius energy and we're into this Sag stellium, we're going to be feeling a lot lighter, a lot more expanded. And so I do feel we got some big energies ahead this week. We are still in Mars retrograde. And so there is this huge overhaul and recalibration when it comes to the masculine twin, when it comes to sex, taking action. I do feel a lot of recalibration within the lower chakras, the sacral and the solar plexus. And so I feel there's a lot of disruption still going on in the masculine twin's life. I have received email confirmation of a couple of counterparts going back into union where a lot of the karmics have been put in their place. And so I just want to say, be patient if you are still awaiting communication. And so we have this powerful stellium taking place this week on the cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius energy, which is bringing huge transformational energies, especially around the divine masculine's personal identity and how they feel about love. And so divine feminine, staying true in your authentic essence is going to be key this week. Kitty was sleeping peacefully until I turned on the camera. She really likes to make herself known in my videos recently. And so we do need to remember we're still hot off this energy of the intense period of the major impact of that eclipse energy and the recent 11/11 portal gateway. And so talking about the 11/11 portal, it was exactly 3 years ago to the date that I severed my connection with my karmic ex that I have my youngest daughter with. So 3 years to the date, and actually the lines of communication did just open up again on that previous 11/11 portal for me. I logged in and I noticed the child support payment was very late. And so I decided to open up the channels of communication and I reached out. And so it was also my ex's birthday on the weekend. And so I have to say the energy was light. It's been a very long time since we've had any type of communication. And so I do feel these past cycles are being brought back up in order to allow the lesson to come full circle. And so what I gotta say is the energy was light between us. I'm not gonna say the doorway was completely opened, Kitty, but the channels of communication reopened up, and I feel finally we're going to be at a place of being able to reach resolution for the kids. And so it was a very emotional weekend for me. I know my kids were in a power struggle all weekend. I kind of just really focused on detaching from the collective energy and really focused on staying grounded. I got a lot of jewelry, handmade jewelry made for this upcoming art and vendor show, art and craft show coming up again at Sadie Hall where I did the expo. So if you can make it out again, come and see some amazing, talented vendors this upcoming weekend on November 19th and 20th. My daughter and I will be there. My daughter makes some beautiful creations. I will be finally deciding to part with and sell some of my canvas artwork. Maybe I'll do a post on the community tab, or if you want to head over to Facebook, you can find me on Facebook and see all of the items that we've compiled for the art and craft show. So I do feel, Mars is going to be retrograde for the next couple of months. We have Jupiter that just moved back into retrograde in the sign of Pisces. And we also have Jupiter going to go direct next week. And so a lot of luck, a lot of expansion, and a lot of this energy of dealing with the past on multiple levels right now in order to understand these past cycles that keep repeating for a reason, so we can finally end these negative, unsupported cycles. And so it is this energy of the past repeating. The ghosts of the past versions of these karmic cycles are coming up, especially when it comes to these childhood patterns where the feminine has felt unsupported and not encouraged on the journey. And so if there's people coming back from the past again, it is here in order for us to understand that cycle in its entirety. And so the universe, I feel, is really pushing us when it comes to being triggered in order for us to recognize why that trigger is still there so this pattern can fully be released. And so we're all on this journey of discovering spiritual truth in essence, right? And so we are all capable of manifesting our reality, and the universe and our team of spiritual guides, they're always supporting us and they are always loving us. And so no matter where you are at on the journey, I feel a big message is to open up and to let love back in. And so I feel this is also a time of making note of all of these underlying repeated negative feelings of not feeling supported in order to clear them so everything can kind of open up wide for these reconciliation energies. And so when Jupiter does go direct next week, I feel it is this energy of receiving that gift, receiving abundance. I also feel when Jupiter stations direct, it is definitely going to be affecting Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, and Sagittarius placements, especially if you have those as your rising signs. And so I'm a Pisces rising, and you're really going to want to pay attention to what your Jupiter placement is, because this energy is supporting these new cycles of unconditional love and what really wants to come in for you on your journey. And I do want to repeat, unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance of toxic, negative behaviors. And so I do think the path forward is going to bring forward a lot more luck, a lot of expansion, and it's going to bring forward what this Jupiter energy wants to give you as a divine gift if you've mastered these lessons. And so there have been a lot of very uncomfortable ascension symptoms. I woke up with a massive, massive headache all around my third eye. It took me a little while to shake that energy. The energy is feeling very lethargic, like you might be finding it hard to get motivated to get up and go and to get things done. I actually ended up napping on the weekend a couple of times, and I'm usually not one to nap, although my guides have been getting me up every morning between 3 and 4, which is absolutely exhausting. And so we're still moving through a lot of shadow energy. Well, the masculine twin is with Mars retrograde. And so Mars retrograde will be in that energy until January of next year. And then we're going to be in the shadow energy until March. And so the energies really are helping to kind of work on reforming the entire masculine collective. And what I want to say is, where are these divine masculines? There was an incident Friday night here as well. I own a semi-detached duplex, and so on the other half, we've got renters. Well, I don't own the other half, but a rental company does. And there was a huge karmic blow up next door Friday night, and they've been fighting like this for several months, and it got absolutely out of hand. Nasty, nasty things were said. I really don't know what was going on over there, but when that man was flipping out, swearing up a storm, I was just getting the kids to bed. He was threatening to beat the F out of that woman next door and the kids, threatening to take all of the money and cheat on her. And my trigger response, because I've been a victim of domestic violence many times over, I just went into instant reaction mode. I pounded on the freaking wall and I told him I could hear everything that he said. And I was like this close to calling the cops. And so I went into a trigger spiral myself, and I didn't really want to get super involved. Although we as a collective, we have to speak up. We're not living in that time frame of sweeping this stuff under the rug. We are here to help others break free from these toxic cycles. So it was very traumatic for my oldest daughter and myself to have to hear that violent outburst and that abuse taking place next door. And so a lot of things are going on. There's a lot of toxic relationships absolutely crumbling to the ground because all of this energy is not going to be supported in these new cycles, in these new timelines. And so a lot of reforming of the entire distorted masculine collective and where they need to take action to refigure this karmic template. And this is going to be going on throughout the winter months. And so a lot of solar plexus recalibration. So if you've been having trouble eating, not wanting to eat, or feeling nauseous, or maybe wanting to overeat, all of this is due to this opposition being stirred up with this negative human patterning, so we can recalibrate into these higher states. And so I do feel there's been a lot of astral energy coming through. Dream space have really been stirred up recently. Like, I've been having the most strange dreams. It's really been disrupting my sleep patterns. And so I do feel the telepathy is definitely causing this between the counterparts as well. And so if you're feeling queasy or your stomach just isn't quite right, I do feel that's kind of what's going on in the energies. And with Mars in retrograde in Gemini, Gemini is the sign of the twins, and it's this huge indecisiveness coming through. I feel a lot of the masculines feel like they're moving backwards right now. And so all of this is reforming any indecision. And I do feel a lot of the masculines are overthinking in this Nine of Swords energy. And I want to say, the masculine knows deep in his soul where he needs to be. The soul never ever doubts the truth, but it is the egoic mind that makes the masculine spiral into these states of fear, indecision, lack, and doubt. And so I do feel new perspectives are going to be being reached throughout this retrograde, and there is this guided energy for the masculine to release hesitation and to no longer waver when it comes to stepping onto the true path with the divine feminine. And so this overthinking will lead to a lot of hesitation. And so if you've been feeling that energy recently, it is absolutely related to the Mars retrograde and Gemini energy. And so we have to clear those patterns as well. And so the masculine counterpart really is being pushed cosmically to release this toxic paradigm that he's been playing into. And a lot of the masculines have been very promiscuous along the journey, not wanting to commit and say yes to spirit. And so Saturn is saying, hey, your soul committed to this twin flame journey, and they are being guided to follow their heart and to correct all of these past mistakes, and to have that conquest over the karmic entity. And I feel a lot of the masculines are feeling very worthless because they're not in a place of what really makes a man successful in their life. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines are feeling very low emotionally, very confused recently. And all of this programming has been exposed when it comes to their egoic self, and all of this is stirring things up. And so I feel there's this deep state of inner turmoil taking place for the divine masculine collective. I feel they're feeling defeated, deflated, deep in inner turmoil between the head and the heart. And the universe is trying to guide them out of these toxic templates into their soul's truth. And so while this is happening, I feel the feminine is being asked to stay grounded, to stay centered, and to stay in your power as all of these karmic cycles complete and come to an end. And so this will easily help the masculine rise to release all of these toxins and these toxic people, places, and things. And so with this very powerful stellium in Scorpio taking place, it's this re-evolution of self. And so we have Mercury, the Sun, and Venus in this Scorpio stellium before it goes into Sag. And so the Sun and Venus are traveling very closely together in this stellium along with Mercury at the tail end of Scorpio season. And so a lot of dark, heavy underworld process of the subconscious mind is what I'm feeling before it moves into Sagittarius mid and end of week. And so it's this deep intensity around soul identity, where we need to honor our self-expression. Like the Scorpio energy wants to control, wants to go into this power struggle, and that's where the masculine's at. It's like they don't want to fully commit without, they don't know how to fully commit without having that form of manipulation below the surface. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are really questioning their past decisions. There's a lot of shame coming up in making the wrong decision and going towards the fake gold rather than the gold of the divine feminine. And so this is really getting them to question who they are, why they do what they do, and why they've worked so hard to build this false foundation instead of coming from a place of authentic expression. And so a lot of the masculines are deep into the inner world of the subconscious mind this week, reframing, redeveloping their personal identity and what it means to have a true equal romantic partnership. And so I feel a lot of the feminines on the flip side, we're really busy with all kinds of social engagements this week. And so I know I've been really busy since the expo, booking in clients for readings. And so I've got a lot on the go this week. I'm going out on another date later this week that I'm super excited about. And so right now I feel the feminine is just this observer of everything going on around her. And all of these unusual dreams are coming up, are showing up, I feel, in order to break us free from this autopilot that a lot of us have been running on. And so communication is going to be key, because a lot of these unconscious karmic timelines and patterns have been running the show in some way, shape, or form. And so whether this is good or bad is going to depend on your own system and the integration work that you've already completed on the spiritual journey. So you're really going to want to pay attention this week as this illumination of all of these old limitations and beliefs are saying it's time to break these chains. It's time to break free. And so I do feel we're at this pivot point of opportunity to really spot these patterns and these old limitations. And I feel a lot of the masculines are cursing themselves because they've not released the karmic connection, and they've not wanted to come forward and embrace positive terms with the feminine. And so I feel a lot of the masculines have been talking themselves down, really putting themselves down, going into this self-pity party. And I feel they're having a hard time thinking about their future hopes and dreams because they've lacked this self-empowered energy. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines are afraid to speak about these problems in this state of hopelessness as well. And so you're really going to want to catch yourself when you're in this negative spiral this week, and realign into a higher thought process. And I know it is easier said than done. And so all of these energies are opening us up to get rid of these stubborn energy blocks and to get to the root of the cause of these repeated patterns once and for all. And so I do feel a lot of perspectives have really seemed clouded. That's what that headache felt like this morning, like this huge ball of cloudiness around me. And so I do feel whatever issues were coming up when it comes to Mercury retrograde that we've closed out are coming up again this week. In order for us to find our true expressive nature. And so there's a lot of things going on out of our control is what I'm feeling. And there's a lot of secrets revealing themselves this week. And although the masculine, I feel, is feeling very discouraged when it comes to embracing all of these changes, I do feel the big thing this week is the masculine might fall into temptation again. And so Saturn is saying, do not fall back into temptation. We're so close, so don't give up. We are closer than we think to these divine counterpart unions. And so I do feel the feminine really is the bridge between heaven and earth, and Saturn is working to connect the masculine and feminine again And so consistency, divine feminine, consistency, commitment to the journey will bring the masculine together in this state of unity and joy with you. So don't give up, don't don't stop going, don't stop trying. Because when Saturn kind of comes into the mix this week, Saturn rules karma. And so there's a lot of karmic challenges coming up this week around these old karmic timelines for the divine masculine. And so I know a lot of the feminines are at this point where we have reached utter impatience. We are so sick and tired of waiting for the masculine to wake up and to see what he needs to do to course correct. And so so many of us are like, how long is this going to take? How long is this going to take for this union to come to fruition? And a lot of these karmic connections have been purposely trying to sabotage the masculine from coming forward with all of these underlying entanglements and webbing that really have kept the masculine twin preoccupied in this negative karmic cycle from these past life contracts that he needs to kind of sever and break. And so a lot of the masculines are entangled in all of these karmic connections and karmic blocks. And so I do feel as we move further into Sagittarius season with Mercury and Venus, the masculine will likely start to feel more motivated to get to a state of positivity with the divine feminine. And so I think, you know, we're not going to be officially out of Scorpio season until about next week. And so it's been this very deep, dark, heavy energy for most of us, right? Especially those that I've been connecting with recently. And so the next few weeks into Sagittarius season, I feel this lighter change coming in, this lighter energy. And so right now you might be finding it hard and struggling to see the good things that are coming ahead. And so this is why I say you want to trust and you want to just keep going one foot in front of the other. When you really don't know where you're going, you just got to keep going forward. And so I feel the masculine really is having a hard time understanding why things had to happen the way that they did. And all of this is due to these past energies and this realignment that is needed, right? And so that's what was needed then for the masculine to learn these very heavy life lessons. And so a lot of the feminines have already shifted from the inside out. And a lot of the feminines have been attracting all of these wonderful, beautiful experiences into her life. And I know a lot of us are feeling like this has taken way longer than we have thought it was going to take. But I do feel we are reopening to these connections and communication. And so Mercury and Venus will join exact in Sagittarius, and that's where I do feel communication in these connections will open up. It will become more enthusiastic. And so don't be surprised if you suddenly hear from your counterpart at the end of this week into next week, even if you seem like your worlds apart and this connection is completely dissipated and out of reach, because Spirit is saying they have to share something with you. They have news to share with you. And so on the soul level, I do feel the masculine is working very hard to reach the feminine and draw her in, but ultimately the masculine has to choose to take action. And so I do feel it's going to be a week of revelations, realizations. I feel the masculine's in this tunnel of darkness, feeling like there really is no way out. But the only way out is to break free. He's going to have to choose to break free and see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I do feel never ever assume anything this week, because the cosmic energies are saying go within, restore yourself to a state of self-love, divine feminine, because your perception and your powers is what is needed to have faith, to have that positive outcome. But it does have to be an inside job first. And so I feel get ready to open up. Are you willing to open up to experience love on every single level? So let's jump in with some cards today, guys. I did grab my archetype deck. I chose the Senses of the Soul deck, and I was drawn to the Dragon Oracle deck today because I had a Divine Feminine reach out and share a meditation about being taken with the pink dragon into the constellation Sirius, and was connecting with Mother Mary. And so we're gonna pull in with the dragon cards as well. So let's see what needs to come through in the cards today, guys. I will start off with the archetype deck. Look at that bottom of the deck, Pioneer. We are the new earth pioneers, the trailblazers, and so there is a need to keep moving on, to keep moving forward, because we are here to create something that has never been done before, right? We are here to avenge all of these karmic cycles, and there is a rebalancing when it comes to the scales of justice this week, is what I'm feeling. Pioneer and companion. I just split the deck. And so I do feel there's been a lot of betrayal in the karmic contracts. There was also a divine masculine that reached out, and there was all kinds of karmic exposure when it comes to third-party energy. Like, I'm talking like drama central. The cops were called, and she got busted with another man in the bed, and I was like, what is going on? And so I do feel this betrayal has led the masculine down this path of loss of personal identity. And so the feminine has been loyal, tenacious, and unselfish on this journey. And I do feel we are manifesting that divine companionship in the energies this week. So we're going to see what archetypes need to come through for the masculine. We got that God energy. I'm pretty sure that came through in last week's message. And so I do feel, you know, the disposition of the masculine really has been very cruel towards the feminine. They use their power to control the situation. They, you know, blocked communication, ghosted as a form of manipulation to control the divine feminine. And so I think they're recognizing this within themselves now, of how they've manipulated others through their own duality. And they definitely have been played by the karmic trickster. And, you know, what goes around always comes around. And so this manipulative behavior, it's like the magician reversed. If you notice, it's like the magician card. He was a manipulator. And so he's going to have to transcend all of this stiffness, is what I'm feeling. And then we get the liberation from being that slave, right? It's like the masculine was a slave to the karmic. And I feel a lot of the karmics have imposed this deep level of tyranny on the masculine, but they have to choose to claim liberating themselves. They've been ignoring all of these restraints. They've been ignoring all of this manipulative behavior. They've been giving their willpower away to that external karmic authority. And they've had all of this fear, overwhelming fear of making a decision for themselves. And so they're definitely in this state of they can no longer deny this emotional truth and going into this deep-seated wounding. And so they are being asked to surrender to the divine and to give complete trust to the divine. It's like they've been a puppet on that karmic's strings, right? They've been a slave. I'm hearing that Britney Spears song, I'm a slave for you. And so they've got to release all of these negative thought patterns if they are to free themselves from this distorted human programming. And they're going to have to face you know, that mirror, that sacred clown. They're feeling like a sacred clown. And so I think a lot of them, you know, they laughed at the feminine. They put the feminine down. They made fun of her when she went through this awakening. And now everything is falling back on the masculine's onus. And so all of these emotions have been revealing themselves. And the masculine is now discovering what a hypocrite he's been in denying this emotional truth. So we're going to see what needs to come through on the feminine side with the archetype energies this week. And I see this one really wants to come out, the exorcist, the shapeshifter, and the addict. And so I feel the feminine really has gotten to a point of confronting any addictive behaviors. A lot of the feminines, we've had this deep fear of being alone, right? And that all stems down to a core abandonment wound as a child. And so I do feel a lot of the feminines have been projecting these fears. If you're still in a karmic contract trying to break free, there's a lot of projection of these fears. And so a lot of the feminines had to go into facing all of these inner demons, right? And we've had to free ourselves from all of these destructive impulses. So if you are still in a karmic contract, divine feminine, I feel get ready to understand where you have compromised your values and your integrity just to be connected to another. Get honest with yourself, because these addictive patterns have held authority over your inner spirit, and it's time to confront these addictive behaviors of seeking to control. And I feel get ready to understand where you have, you know, played into self-sabotaging behaviors, divine feminine. And I do feel all of this fear of stepping into self-empowerment does need to be released if we want to bring these positive changes into our lives permanently. And so get ready to have some balance back in your life and to navigate through all of these levels of consciousness, because we're here to see the potential in these new higher cycles. And so get ready to dig deep. I feel that's that scorpionic energy rounding completion. My ears ringing and really, really itchy right now. And so that femme fatale, right? And so a lot of the karmics have really been trying to use an inappropriate amount of sexuality because of their distorted attachment to money and power over the masculine. And a lot of the karmics held on because of money, wanting to have power. And they falsified a lot of information about the divine feminine. So a lot of observation, this deep desire to seek out the truth. And I feel the feminine is being asked to open up her heart. When we reject the cycles of codependency, then we are really ready to express our soul's intuitive insights, right? And so I do feel a lot of negative destructive effects when it comes to breaking free from these karmic cycles this week, once and for all. So we're going to pull in with the senses of the soul now. Ooh, the Sage. And we are wise sages, right? And then we get the 21 cards. So 21 is completion of a cycle. So there's that solar plexus recalibration that I was talking about. And there's that upper chakra energy that I felt very heavily this morning. And so we are right where we all need to be right now. And so I do feel the way forward is going to become crystal clear this week. So get ready to receive that clarity as we enter into the Sagittarius energy. And then we will have that new moon in Sag coming up too. And what I did notice was the full moon in Gemini coming up in Sagittarius season is also going to be at 16 degrees. So another tower energy is coming with that full moon. And so I do feel we all have the resilience to overcome these challenges. And so right now, I feel the masculine is trying to find his courage and his strength to keep going forward. And then I do feel for the masculine, the darkness really is an invitation for him to shine that divine light on these negative cycles. And so ayahuasca, so that is actually a root or a plant where it can bring you to new spiritual truths. And so we got the lower chakras coming out for the masculine. I do feel the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus are going through this recalibration because we're not manifesting these connections out of those lower cycles. We're going into the heart, into the higher. And so I feel the masculine is digesting a lot of emotions this week. A lot of emotions in order to synthesize this divine guidance. So this is like crown chakra activations coming through. We have from the root to the crown, and so that coiled snake energy I feel being activated, digesting a lot of the emotions of shame, guilt, remorse, regret, and finding the resilience to keep going. Bottom of the deck, we get the priest, the priestess, and the guru. So I do feel a huge release of these negative compulsions that have been keeping the masculine from his true divine identity this week. So we're going to see what comes through on the feminine side. Beautiful. Open yourself up to light and clarity. a lot of the feminines got pricked by the masculine. I'm just going to say a lot of these masculines were divine pricks at the beginning of the journey with the cactus energy. And so I feel the feminine is really opening up to see the clarity and why things had to play out the way that they did, and coming into a state of balance with her own personal power with an open heart, right? And it is always about forgiveness from that open heart space. And so I want to say the feminine is the divine masculine sunflower, and then we get the rose hip. So go into nurturing that inner child, and that is exactly why I was guided to create all weekend long. That really allows you to heal the inner child and try to see the humor in the situation. Although it's not funny, none of this was funny. A lot of this was very painful. You truly are the divine masculine's muse. It's like that Madonna song. I don't even know how it goes, but the feminine is the masculine's muse. And so it really is time, divine feminine, to stand up for what it is that you believe in and to stand firm in those boundaries, because you are a healer. And so I do feel you are stepping into freedom. You are stepping into freedom. So we are going to read into the ayahuasca energy for the divine masculine, because I do feel deep in the darkness, and it is a 5. And so right now, a lot of the masculines are facing their deepest, darkest fears in a state of healing their psychic and intuitive abilities. And so the dark is always an invitation to shine that divine light on these negative shadow aspects, right? And so I do feel a very sacred place of the subconscious mind right now for the masculine when it comes to all of this wounding that is surfacing for this deep-seated healing. And so I feel the masculine has accessed his unconscious, otherworldly realms in order to identify finally what needs to be healed and how to approach healing it. And so I feel the energy is cultivating, reconnecting this telepathic, clairvoyant energy between the twins. A lot of clairsentient abilities are coming back up online. And I do feel a lot of dream space are bringing forward a lot of sources of information for the divine masculine, supporting him on this deep healing cellular level. And then we're going to read into the guru and the priestess energy. And so a psycho-spiritual scrub is what I'm feeling. A psycho-spiritual scrub for the divine masculine taking place, and he is going to have to command his own inner authority if he is to realign himself with his own truth and this higher purpose. I feel he's reaching new heights of growth on the spiritual journey. He is definitely descending into the depths of the unconscious mind, in the labyrinth of the unconscious mind. And he's learning to temper the ego's need to control and to only solve issues with logic. So it is obliterating this state of fear, coming to a place of surrender is what I'm feeling. And the shadow manifestation taking place is showing the masculine where he has lacked integrity in this entire third-party situation. And so there's been a lot of manipulation of the truth around the masculine. He's really been this self-righteous person, and I do feel he's been involved in a lot of betrayal recently. And so this really has jaded his truth and this indifference to answer the call. And so he is opening up to the truth, and he is taking in a lot of truth, and I feel he's having a hard time swallowing that truth. So we're going to read into the guru, if I can find that very quickly. And so this is a time of spiritual realignment. And so I feel the masculine's life right now is feeling completely upside down because their ego has been predominant for such a long time. They've rigidly played into the ego. And so all of this was to protect themselves out of fear of abandonment, fear of rejection. A lot of the masculines, I feel, have been excessively into an alcohol or drug addiction, which is really not serving them in this case at this point in time. They've lacked the conviction to release these addictive qualities. I think they're feeling very spiritually bereft and bankrupt, and they are deeply afraid of spending their life alone. And so all of these temporary highs, these quick fixes with these addictions, has all been the ego trying to compensate for having to deal with this existential experience of angst that they are now kind of sitting in, is what I'm feeling. So a lot of heaviness. I feel a lot of guidance being received as they are being redirected in a new path. And so this fear of the unknown has been allowing them to hang on to all of these destructive beliefs and patterns. And I think this week is where they face their biggest obstacle yet, and where they're going to have to kind of submit and fall into these higher forces that are kind of at work in their life as this redirection. And so Divine Feminine, open yourself up to this clarity. You know the truth. Try to see the lighthearted energy in this as you balance your personal power with that open heart of forgiveness, and really go into nurturing that inner child. And so you truly are this powerful being of co-creation. You are the muse. You are the Divine Masculine's spiritual inspiration when it comes to his impassioned purpose. And so get ready to reignite this connection this week, because your contribution on the healing journey really has mattered in this connection. And so I feel it's time for you to find new inspiration, to connect with new people, because we are here to bring all of this profound knowledge and communicate this into the collective. And you communicating your truth is paying off, is what I do want to say, Divine Feminine. And so connect with the heart, because those that are connected in the heart will hear the message that you have to deliver for the collective. And so I think you are manifesting your purpose. You're being infused with new creative ideas. I got the tingles all over the feminine side of my crown chakra right now. And so you are here to share your truth in a very special way. In a way that others can receive it at your level. So stay open to all of these new inspirational ideas that are coming forward, because I feel this new elevation of vibration in your entire being this week. And so I do feel you are being asked to take on more responsibility when it comes to teaching others this self-healing journey. There's a lot of people I feel looking up to you, Divine Feminine, that admire the work that you do. And you are a trusted source of inspiration for many that are magnetically drawn to you at this time. So let's go into the tarot. And I believe I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot this week. Look at that. 6 of Swords, 6 of Cups. 6s are the journey to balance and harmony. So I do feel we're moving away from these cycles of manipulation, needing to win at all costs. And we are stepping into a time of deep inner child healing and reconciliation. The 6 of Cups is reconciliation after this period of transformation. If you notice the I'm gonna say monarch butterflies on the deck. So I think we're just gonna do a 9-card spread. We're gonna get the general energies coming through for the twins for the week ahead, and then we will close off the reading with some twin flame oracle messages. And so 10 of Wands reverse, Queen of Swords reverse just came out. And so the conscious release of that vengeful, vindictive, karmic energy is what I'm feeling. Conscious release, finally releasing this long-standing burden of these karmic cycles. And there's still a little bit of indecision going on here. I also feel like this major realignment coming through. So your masculine could have been dealing with a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, dealing with a liar. And there's that 6 of Pentacles. So 666 has been a number coming up for me. Remember, we had the 6 of Swords and the 6 of Cups. So rebalancing, equal giving and receiving. We get the Queen of Wands, the dead central energy, the 3 of Cups in reverse. So we've got the karmic feminine really coming through strongly. All done playing into these power struggles. And there's that brand new beginning in love. And definitely coming in as that wounded healer. And so the karmic feminine coming through strongly. And so that's going to be the biggest challenge this week, is the karmic feminine. Definitely that party is over. I do feel there likely was some type of betrayal or exposure. A cheating situation very well could have happened. There was definitely not equal giving and receiving in the karmic contract at all whatsoever. a major realignment, no more juggling, and I do feel the rainbow blessings are coming. It is time to receive these rainbow blessings. The Three of Cups in reverse does indicate no more third-party interference. That commitment with the karmic is over. It's a canceled engagement, divorce proceedings, all done playing into this power struggle dynamic. And I feel laser focused on this new beginning in love and mastering these lessons of being this wounded healer. And so the Two of Wands in reversed on the bottom of the deck and the Justice reversed. And so that's the energy of the rug getting pulled out from the masculine's feet in order to rectify these past injustices. And I do feel a lot of the masculines are being taken to their knees, asking the universe to be forgiven, and likely coming back on their knees, asking for a second chance. They want to come out from the cold, from the ghosting. I know many of us, it's been a very long journey. Separation has been 3 to 5 years for most that I have been communicating with. Laser focused on this new beginning in love, and there is going to be a shift in consciousness, a shift in perspective. I do feel a lot of the masculines have been losing money in that contract of self-sacrificing and getting ready to come in with a Tower, because we are going through this paradigm shift in all of these beliefs. A lot of the masculines, I feel, are going to be thrown out. They might even be coming forward homeless. They might have to move in with you. I'm not sure. But it really is the death to this old cycle, the Scorpio energy. And so get ready to receive an open-hearted apology, Divine Feminine. Unexpected arrival. And we are transforming out of these cycles of manipulation and abuse. And so the karmic is the central energy this week. I also feel Sagittarius season is going to really allow the masculine to expand. So I do want to look a little bit deeper into the karmic energy here. So there was secrets here for sure. And I do feel the masculine has secretly moved away from the karmic contract. We get the High Priestess. So we do get Pisces energy, the Nine of Swords reversed. Things getting worse. I feel the masculines are getting waken up by nightmares of how they have treated the Divine Feminine. Nightmares about what the karmic has really done to the Divine Feminine to hurt her, to keep the masculine stuck. And I do feel, you know, only the Emperor or the Empress ride in this Chariot, Cancer energy. And bottom of the deck, we got the masculine and the Strength card. So finding the strength to leave that karmic feminine behind, who is likely experiencing a huge loss of fortune. And I feel the masculine is finding his strength and his determination to boss up and to burn that bridge once and for all this week, to come forward and mend that bridge with the feminine. And he is stressed because he's going to have to reveal all of the secrets. He has to come forward with full disclosure because ultimately the Divine Feminine already knows and has been shown this. And so a major, major rebalancing. And I feel the masculine has been shown the scrolls of the contract, tapping into the Akashic realms and getting ready to rise as that true benevolent leader, Aries energy, Leo, Cancer. And so coming in for that victory and success and wanting to heal this past misunderstanding between the twins. And so I do feel that full moon eclipse come in and brought forward a major revelation, a major shakeup, working through that fear and choosing to walk away from the destructive karmic contract. And I do feel the karmic feminine, you know, has tried to keep the masculine from moving forward, creating all kinds of delays and challenges. I do feel an affair or something has been exposed in order for the masculine to take those guided steps to break free from that very toxic cycle that he's been holding on to for a very long time due to materialism and greed. And that's kind of what I see going on here this week, guys. So we're going to grab a few twin flame oracle messages to close off the weekly forecast. Warriors of light. And so we truly are warriors of light is what I do want to say. And so I feel nothing is impossible this week. Get ready to manifest the impossible. There's a lot going on when it comes to gender roles and all of this reflecting energy on these negative human patterns that we've been playing into lifetime after lifetime. And so get ready to embrace a miracle, because right now the masculine is trying to reach the feminine telepathically to say, I do still love you. And so we do need to remember we are warriors of light. Our twin flame mission is unconditional love. And so a lot of mother-father wounding coming up when it comes to these unresolved issues with your parents. So if that's surfacing, do that work to release this power struggle, because right now the masculine is deep within a power struggle with the karmic when it comes to their past life karma. And that is mirroring all of these negative energies. And so I do feel a lot of astral travel this week, and dream space is reconnecting the twins in these meetings in the 5th dimension. And it is kind of time to make that choice. I feel the masculine is learning some very valuable soul lessons this week. And so divine feminine, if you allow stillness to bring you the awareness and the answers that you need, that will allow the masculine to clearly decide what it is that he wants this week. And that's kind of what I got, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a twin soul reading with me, I do encourage you to check out that description box below, guys. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.